the constitution of the PMDC, how is it necessary? PMDC is formed in 1962, and from that time, it is working and is recognized nationally and internationally. Why it is replaced by PMC? If there is any problem, we should work out for that problem that was discussed. So this is the first question. I ask the other faculty who can elaborate this question we have discussed about the constitution of the PMC. Dr. Arshad, you are hearing right now?
Sure, I can hear better. I can hear you better. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, we are hearing.
Yeah. So the first thing is that, was there any need for change? I would say yes, there was a need for change. The time, a lot of water has flown under the bridges since 1962, starting from the number of medical colleges that have sprung up, the fact that that was based on the profession regulating itself, and that eventually led to a constitution to constituents of the Pakistan Medical and Dental Council that probably was there was a bit of a conflict of interest involved between people who were regulating the profession, were also being partners in the profession, which with a financial interest which was being led. But I won't go into that. That, once again, as I said, is for the people who drew the constitution to the law. What I emphasize here is on the fact that over the years, the primary focus probably had shifted from our primary job as a regulator, as a licensing regulator, and that is to actually regulate the profession, to to an organization that was more focused on actually regulating the teaching institutions. And that needed to be changed. And why I say so, because over the last few months, that what we've realized is, and I'll give you some numbers. And I request all of you as leaders of the profession who should be concerned and primarily on the contract between us as care providers and the society at large, is that, are we doing our job of finding the best possible healthcare solutions for the society within the given resources? So starting with us as regulators, if we go to our website, what we find is that there are 277,000 registered doctors, which means medical doctors and dental practitioners in the country. So we started from there. And I give those figures just to emphasize on why we think there was a need for a change, a drastic change in our focus. And that is that out of those 200, so we were wondering, so does Pakistan really have 277,000 doctors and dental surgeons? And what we found out was that out of those 277,000 registered doctors and dental surgeons, we had something like 155,000 only who had a valid practice license at this moment. So we didn't know whether out of those 277,000 practitioners, how many of them were alive, how many of them were here, how many of them had left the country and not bothered to renew their licenses, how many of them were actually had got their graduation but had never bothered to get their degrees licensed. Second thing was even more shocking, and that was dentistry. When we started looking at dentistry, the number of registered dental surgeons was way less than the number of dental graduates that had passed during last 10 years or so, since the number of dental colleges in the country had mushrooms. And what we began to realize was that the the number of students who are not even bothering to get themselves registered for a license after their BDS, their graduate degree, is closing on or even crossing 50%. So once again, we went back and we have collected some data over what is the number of specialists that we have. And there, once again, the figures are shocking, because what we find is that the number of specialists is way less than what we are presuming that there are. Give you an example of my own profession, which is anesthesia. There are total 3,980 something registered anesthesiologists in the country, and that includes all the degrees and diplomas combined. We don't know how many of them are in the country with the attrition rate we have. We don't know how many of them are alive or actually practicing. So I'm just giving you these numbers to make the point, a case that it was about time that we actually started shifting our focus towards our very primary job, which sadly for so many reasons, and I'm not saying that anyone was not doing their job properly, but somehow our focus had shifted away from our primary job of a regulator, which was to ensure A, the sanctity of the licenses, and B, the quality of care and that we are providing.